So let's learn how to do that on DaVinci Resolve. Now this video is inspired from a YouTuber called Zane Hoyer. So he does such amazing DaVinci Resolve tutorials, so do check him out. But I've done a little bit of tweaking and finishing from my side. So let's dive straight in. Okay, as always, the very first thing, come to Effects. Under Effects, bring in a Fusion composition like so. And then let's come to Fusion. Under Fusion, just let me drag it like this. And let me bring in a background node and just join it like this. And for the color of the background, instead of solid color, I'm going to change this to 4-corner. And in the last bottom right, I'm going to change to something like blue and then make it a bit more dark. Something like this. Or maybe I'll pick a little more lighter blue. Now let's build in our animation of the graph. So for that, what you have to do is bring in one more background node like this. Just join it like this. And in this background, I'm going to again change this to 4-corner. And all these colors, I'm going to change it to different shades of blue. Okay. Now let's bring in a polygon node from here. And join it like this. Now this polygon, you right click here and select remove polygon polyline. Now let's draw our shape. So it will be something like this. Now to smoothen it out, just select each point, press this one. It will smoothen out the curves like this. Cool. Okay, and now let's increase the border width to something like this. Also the soft edge to a little bit like this. Now let's animate this graph. For that, let's play with the keyframe of this length. So in the first frame, I will set a keyframe here. And then towards the something like frame 80, I will mark another keyframe. And in the very first keyframe, I will decrease the length all the way to 0. Now we need to smoothen it out. So come to spline, select the polygon, Control A, right click, ease, and press out cubic. If I hit play, you can see something like this. Awesome. Now let's create our liquid glass. Now let me bring in 2 merge nodes. So select this merge and click this one. It will create one merge. I'll create one more. So this merge is for the liquid glass and this merge is for creating a gradient on the liquid glass. Now to create a liquid glass, as I've mentioned in the previous video, you need to bring in a displace node, not the displace 3D, but the displace node. And from this displace, it should go to the green input of the merge. And from the merge before, it should go to the yellow input of the displace. Now to create the shape of the liquid glass, you bring in a rectangular node. And from the output of the rectangle, it will go to the green input of the displace. And another output will also go to the blue input of this merge. So if you remember this step, each time you can create that liquid glass effect. Now under displace, change the offset to -1. Change the refraction strength to -4. And you can increase the light power to a little bit. And the spread also to a little bit, something like this. Now let's create our shape. So for that, come to rectangle. You can play with the shape. So I'm going to make it something like this. Increase the corner radius. Yeah, something like this is fine. Now we need to blur out whatever is going behind this glass. So for that, what you have to do is shift spacebar, bring in a blur node, and from this merge, it should go to this blur, and the output of the blur will go to the displace. So there is a blur in between these nodes. So now you can increase the blur to whatever you like. So as you can see, there is a nice blur happening behind that glass. Let me just bring in this polygon graph to a little bit down like this. Yeah. Okay, so you have the liquid glass ready. Now what I need to do on this merge is basically a gradient on the glass. So let me move this here. So to create a gradient, what you have to do is I will bring in a background node. I will bring in this same background node, Control C, Control V, and just join it like this. And in this background, I'm going to bring in another rectangular node and uncheck this solid, increase the border width like this, and increase the soft edge, and place it somewhere here. The border width is going beyond this glass. I just want it to be inside this glass. So to fix that, what you have to do is bring in one more rectangular node. This is to mask out this extra whatever is coming out. So from this rectangle, I'll join this to the blue input of this merge, and I will adjust it in such a way that it will stay within that shape. So I'll just regulate it like this, reduce the height to something like this. Now you can see that this whatever I do, if I increase the height, it will only stay within that frame. So now let me move it in such a way. I'll increase the soft edge to a little bit and play wherever you want the gradient to be. I just want to be on this side and a little bit towards here. So I'll just move it like this. Now as you can see, this blue line is touching this gradient. So for that, let me bring in this polygon to a little more low, like this. Okay, now you have a nice gradient here. You can play with it, make it a little more appealing. And now let's bring in a glow. So after this background, I'm going to add in a glow. You can reduce the glow if you want and reduce the glow size. Now after this, shift spacebar, bring in this particular node called waviness. So it will add in a nice animation like a wave. But I want to reduce the scale. I don't want to be too much, and reduce the strength and change this to horizontal. So as you can see, there is this nice gradient, moving gradient that's happening on the glass. Awesome. So you have the liquid glass and the gradient ready. Now let's create our text nodes. So let me move this out. So now let's design our text. So for that, it's easy. Just bring in a text node. Just join it to this merge. And I'm going to type in something like $1250 and change this to the Apple font, that is SF Pro Display. It's a free font available. And after this, I'm coming to shading and change to gradient. And I'm going to change the color of this to something like dark blue. And this one to something like light blue. And you come to mapping level, change to line. Then you can change the angle to wherever you like, somewhere like this I'm going to choose. Now let's move this. So shift spacebar on the text, transform. And you can move this somewhere here. Now let's animate this text. So for that, come to text, right click, follower. So once I click follower, a new tab opened called modifiers. Come to modifiers. Under delay, I'm going to choose 1.2. Then come to transform. Let's animate. So let the line go. Somewhere here, I want the animation to start. So I will hit the keyframe on the offset. So as soon as I hit keyframe, another tab will open. You don't have to do anything. Come back to follower. Go to 10 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll hit a keyframe here also. And in the first keyframe, I'll just move it something like this. Let's smoothen it out. Come to spline, Control A, right click, ease, out cubic. So you'll have something like this. Now let me also keyframe the blur. So you come to shading under the modifiers and you see an opacity slider. So we'll put a keyframe on the same keyframes. So one keyframe here, one keyframe here. In the first keyframe, I'll reduce the opacity all the way 0. So you will have something like this. Okay, now let's design our next text. So same thing, I'll bring in a text, join it like this. And this text, I'm going to type something like hit your goals, change the font to SF Pro display. And again, come to shading, gradient. I'm kind of happy with this gradient, but I'm going to change from bold to regular, then shift spacebar, transform, then reduce the size and move it somewhere here. If you want, you can, change the gradient. I think it's a bit too dark. So what I'm going to do is same thing. I'm going to change this to line and change the angle to somewhere I like, and also maybe change the darker portion to a little more grayish. Now let's animate this one. So for that, what I would do is, let's see where we want to start. Once this text comes, maybe here, I will start this animation. So what I'm going to do, the same thing, right click, follower, under modifiers, 1.2. Let's come to transform. And instead of characters, I'm going to choose words so that the whole words will come individually instead of the letters. So now let's hit a keyframe on offset, then 10 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, another window is opening. You don't want this. Hit a keyframe here. And in the first keyframe, just lower it like this. Let's come to spline, Control A, right click, ease, out cubic. Now I also want to do keyframing on the opacity like we did before. In this keyframe, I'll hit a point on the keyframe, and this point also I'll hit a keyframe. On the first keyframe, I'll reduce the opacity. So now you have something like this. Cool. Now what I'll do is I will also copy this and paste here and join it. And under this, I will put something like $15. And under the transform, I will move it to somewhere here. And maybe reduce the size to a little bit. But I want this keyframe to start a little later than this. So what you can do is, let's see. Somewhere here, I want those keyframes to start. So for that, what I'll do is come to spline. Let me select this particular text and just select all, Control A. Pressing Shift on the keyboard, just move it to the playback like this. So you can see those keyframes have shifted here. So you can see once the hit your goals come, and then the other text will come. And similarly, I will just copy this again, paste it here. And in this, I will just type $. And I'll move it somewhere to the other end here. The keyframe, it's okay. I want this two to come together, so we are good. So now you have like this, hit your goals, something like this. Perfect. Now let's bring in that the slider. For that, what I'll do is I will bring in the blue background node we created in the beginning, copy and paste it here and just join it like this. And let's bring in a rectangular node and just join it and just reduce the width and the height and increase the corner radius also. And let me move it to somewhere here. You can reduce the width to a little more. And now you want the liquid glass slider that goes from 15 to this. So let's copy the liquid glass template, these 3 nodes, copy and paste it here. We'll join from this to this merge and from this to here. And under this rectangle, I'm going to decrease the width and the height. Sorry, this will go here and one more will go here. So you have the glass ready. So let me just make it to an oval shape, reduce the width, reduce the height, lower it wherever you want. Now let's animate this one. So before that, I want to animate this line also. So let's see where it will come. Let's select this rectangular node where we connected the background, this particular line. Let all the text appear, the $15, and yeah, somewhere here, I will start to animate this line. So it's pretty much easy. I will hit a keyframe on the width, then go 10 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll hit another keyframe on the width. And in the first keyframe, I'll reduce the width all the way to 0. And under spline, Control A, press S on the keyboard and press T to bring in this slider and change this to something like 85. Okay, so you have that animation also done. Cool. Now let's animate this slider, the liquid glass slider. So you have this rectangular node. So once the line appears, I want it to start from here. So let me just move this somewhere here. I'll reduce the width to a little more and the height. Yeah, something like this. Okay, so once the line appears somewhere here, okay, I will put a keyframe on width, then like 5 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll put a keyframe on width, and in the first keyframe, I'll reduce the width all the way to 0. Spline, Control A, press S on your keyboard, and you can ease in to 85. Okay, so what happens is the line comes and then the glass comes. Here I will mark a keyframe on the sender X. Go 10 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in this keyframe, I will move it to somewhere here. And again, smoothen it out. So just unselect the width. I just want the displacement. So Control A, press S, and ease in to 85. So now you can see that everything is done. The graph goes behind, the text appears, then it comes, hit your goals. Cool, right? It really looks awesome. Now to really spice it up, you can add in motion blur to all the keyframes. So all the nodes that have this triangular icon means that you have done a keyframe. So to all those nodes, you come to settings, enable motion blur and increase the quality. See, the text also has this one. So enable motion blur to each and every keyframes. So once you're finished, this is what you have. Now I know this tutorial was quite a bit lengthy, so I hope this video was helpful to you. That's pretty much it for this video. For those who don't know, I'm Fenzer. I do travel, tech and filmmaking on this channel. So if you're into that sort of stuff, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all as always in the next one.